Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Oh, we are in the beginning of a new moon cycle. Adina's on her way to come and be with us. And before she gets here, and even when she gets here, I want to let you guys know that today is the first day of the next moon cycle. It starts um, so today is the first day.
Hey.
Hey,
Okay.
Adina. Huh?
Okay. My family just got back from Colorado. My sons. They
Hi.
Shaki, you gotta bend down more so she can
Yes,
see.
I can see your face. Hey,
They
Shaki, how you doing?
didn't come back. They just literally just walked in the door, from the airport as we were coming on live.
And who?
There's Kendra and Adisa. Oh, look, y'all gotta bend further. There you go.
Hi.
Adisa and Kendra.
So I don't. Who is that? Which son is that?
Kendra's Adisa's girlfriend. That he boo.
Okay.
No,
And
this is
Adisa,
my
that was
mom.
Adisa. That.
Adisa, my middle son.
Okay, I
Yes.
don't think I've seen him before. He
You
really
never
looks
seen
just
Adisa?
like you. He looks
Well, you're missing
just
a
like
treat.
you.
He's amazing. You know, he's
Yes.
amazing. So you'll get to know him. So they were in Colorado visiting my oldest son over the weekend. They literally just walked in the door.
I love that. I love that.
Thanks for those hearts, everybody. You know, you
Yeah.
love that. Mm-hmm. You love
Okay,
that.
so before you got here, I was just wanting to let everyone know that today is the beginning of a new moon cycle. So I really want to encourage everyone who is looking to really shift their energy. Like if you are having interesting experience in your relationships and inside of yourself, come and do the moon work. I don't have that much more space, but I have a space for at least 10 other people, 10 more people probably. And so I want to encourage you because this month we're going to be working with the new moon in Pisces. Pisces rules our subconscious and our imagination, and that is where everything comes from. Everything comes from the subconscious and the imagination. So if you want to begin to have dominion over your subconscious and your imagination so that you can create at will what you desire so that you can live your life with magic like Adina and I do, come and do this work because this is the work that will help you really begin to see how your energy is working, how you're misusing it, how you're giving it to other people and other systems and things that don't really serve you, and then begin to bring your energy and power back to yourselves and use it in ways that actually is suited to your life. And the thing about the imagination, Adina, as you know, many of us have a really hard time just giving ourselves permission to imagine like we did as children. When I was a child, I lived in another reality entirely.
I did too. I had imaginary friends that I thought people could see. You know, like they're here. Like I consciously remember being more aware at 7. I felt like at 7 I was more aware. But what I know now is at 7 I was more aware on this plane. I left that plane where everything was spiritual and that kind of thing, and I came to here. I was floating up until I was 7. I consciously remember that. Like I didn't really know what was going on until I was 7. It was like, no, that's when you forgot what was really going on.
That's right. That's right. And the thing that we want to do is we want to re-energize those energies. Those childhood energies need to be re-energized because, you know, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, be thee like a child, right? And so if you can't access that child energy, if you've gotten really, you know, hard and really logical and in your masculinity, which is something that we need, but our masculinity is logical and structured and force and external, right? So we need to go into the internal realities to really be creative. So that's the thing that we're up to. So you can join in my link tree. We have 2 more days for the window of joining, and then I'm going to close it because there's only a short window every month. Just like a woman can only get pregnant 3 days in the month.
I'm in the window. Come get pregnant with the moon.
Come get pregnant with the moon. That's right.
The moon mama gonna knock y'all up.
Y'all know y'all want to get knocked up. Y'all know y'all want me to make love to you.
Yes, and you give us foreplay for free every day. Thank you, moon mama. Thank you for all that temptation.
Oh my God. and I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. We love it too.
So today is a Mercury day, and Mercury's at the 9th degree of Aquarius. Aquarius is the energy of the mind of God. It's really the vision. It's where you're going. And it's the thing about Aquarius is this energy is kind of like, you know, when you're 2 years old, you don't know who you're going to be at 12 years old, but you're going to get to be 12 years old. And so the work is about preparing, doing the work to prepare for your becoming, right? So at every step, like we take so many things for granted because we just don't know. But I remember when Zion, because I have a child that has a different way of evolving. I remember when I started taking him to speech therapy when he was very young. And then when we went to the next speech therapist when he was older, she noticed that some building block in his speech development had been skipped.
Mm.
Isn't that something?
How did she notice that? That's so specific. That sounds really like a scientist with it, you know, like separating and say, oh, we're missing a Lego right here, you know.
That's right.
And put this in.
And she could hear it. She could hear it in the way he was speaking. And she was like, this was missed. And I'm using this metaphor to say that we are in a constant state of developing. And when we don't understand the developmental process, we miss stuff that allows us to really be in our fullness and our confidence and our strength. And the Aquarius is about your becoming. So you have to do the foundational work that really allows you to live in what you're becoming. That's why sometimes, you know, we might think like money is the thing that's going to give me what I want. But if you don't have a profound relationship with money and abundance, you know, people who make a lot of money fast, they lose it often.
Or they get it and find out it was an empty goal, you
That's
know,
right.
because we know money in and of itself is a tool, but if you don't know what you're using the tool for, then what was all that work for, you know?
Right.
Like you need big why. I was talking with another friend about that. You do need to know what your why is. And then the how will come to you once you figure out your why. Something you said made me think of, you guys remember that game, Jenga, where you had the tower and you would slip out the blocks? So you talked about Zion missing a step, or us having just the masculine aspects of our character, our personality without the feminine. It's like that shaky Jenga tower. It's standing on, we need the masculine, but we also need the feminine. But we're gonna fall without a firm foundation.
That's
you know?
right. And the feminine means that you have to create the foundation internally first.
Right.
You have to do the internal work first before you can even come into the external to then begin to blossom. If your roots and your foundation are not strong, then you can't stand on whatever it is that you're building, because you have to really do the internal and the external work. And in our country, and the systems that we have learned, we only do the external work. We don't do
That's how we taught. I mean, that's what education was all about, was educating us out of the feminine. A lot of us women, but why some have struggle in relationships so is we don't have the cultivated feminine, or it's cultivated in a negative suit. You know, we've been steeped in competition. We've been steeped in all things masculine, and it's a place for it. Because like you said yesterday, we are both masculine and feminine, but if we're not developing that other side of us, then we're that wobbly Jenga tower and wondering why we can't work stuff out with people, because it's us.
That's right. And you feel it. You feel anxiety, you feel depression, you feel sadness, your confidence wanes because you haven't given yourself the foundation that you need in order to really be who you are. And so you experience jealousy and all that stuff just because you haven't get done the work inside of yourself to make sure that you are right. And one of the things that's been really beautiful for me that I've seen lately is because I'm in my lane, I'm doing the work that only I can do, that nobody else can do the work that I can do, because nobody can do the work that you can do. Like I dance with you every Wednesday and I watch you and I'm like, just recently I was like, stop trying to do what she's doing.
And do what you do. Do it your way. Then it gets fun. And then it gets really fun when you do you.
Right. And so we have to we have to know ourselves, really get clear. And so the Mercury is at the 9th degree. So the first thing I want to say is that Mercury is just about fully out of the retrograde. Tomorrow,
Yay,
the
Mercury.
retrograde is completely over. The retrograde shadow.
Woo-hoo.
So beautiful. We have had an incredible time with this Mercury retrograde because we've had to develop a whole new mindset. I know I have. Can you say, like, what can you say that is different about you since the Mercury retrograde? Is there anything that you can particularly see a shift in?
I see a shift in gentleness with me. Like we talk about subtleties, whereas before, and that's a feminine thing, before I'd be trying to force Mercury. And you can't fucking force Mercury. All you're going to do is have a lot of heartache and frustration. Yeah. So what I do now, and what I feel myself now, is having more grace with myself, having more grace in a situation, taking a breath and breathing. Specifically, I've been in some pretty close calls over the last couple of weeks. And you were like, you didn't even get like rattled. I was like, because I got to give it a minute. And as I'm giving it a minute, universe is speaking to me, creator is speaking into me, the words are coming to me of how to respond. But in the moment, if I just react in the moment, then it's going to be a situation. So that gentleness, the subtleties, to just let it do what it do in a minute. Sometimes stuff is not happening like I want it to, but you let it unfold and see what comes of it. And that has afforded me an incredible amount of grace, and just knowing that in the end, it's really okay. Whatever happens, it's going to be okay. So that's with internal peace, internal grace.
That's amazing, Adina. I mean, that is
so sweet. You've been with me every step of the way. If anybody I called and she was like, "Whoa, guess what?"
and I love it. Like, I'm a scientist, so I really love watching the process. Like, I get to watch my friends. It's not as easy to watch myself, but I get that because I know that everyone is a reflection. When you're growing, I know that that's indicative of my growth as well, because it's often easier to see things externally for me. But so what would I say? Because of this Mercury retrograde, I have really cleared away a lot of my doubt and fear. It's like I have a tendency, or I have in the past had a tendency to be really kind of a baby about things, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but just sort of whiny and complaining. It's kind of a Virgo trait. It's
kind of bratty.
Yes, kind of like, this is hard, right? And I feel myself saying to myself, okay, you can put that away now. Like, you don't need that anymore. Like, we know things are challenging, and we know that we've done challenging things, and we landed on our feet. So, yeah, it's challenging. Let's go.
Every time. We talked about this quote in our class just now. You and I, we were reading this book, and the author said, fear is excitement without breath. And I had to write that down, like, whoa. We often don't look at the exciting things, even of the challenging things in our lives. But we know if it's in front of us, it's for us. That's something Monica says all the time. Monica, you had on the show a couple of weeks ago. If it's in front of you, it's for you. So no matter what it is, even if it's something that you claim consciously to hate, it's for you for some reason. Yeah. And if you can embrace the benefit of it to you, then you can release it too. So think about, even the most horrible thing. What's the excitement of that? Like something, we won't get too deep, but maybe, okay, what's the excitement of paying $100 to take a trip somewhere, $100 to a trip locally? Yeah. What's the excitement in that? Yeah. We talked about that this morning. This excitement in paying $100 to ride locally around your city is arriving the way that you want to arrive, living into your reality of how you said you would be received and traveled and that kind of thing. So you might say initially, like, oh my God, that's a lot to spend for a 20-minute trip. But if that's your contract with, you know what I mean? So maybe the fear is, how do I do this? Or how do I sustain this? Yes. But the excitement of it is like, ooh, let me watch myself make this happen, make this come. So
one of the things that really helps me is reminding myself, get present, be present
mhm,
right here, right now,
mhm.
and put your attention at the bottom of your feet,
Mm,
right? Put your attention at the bottom, get in your body right now. And
yeah.
in this moment, in
Mhm.
this now,
Everything is okay.
everything is good.
It's always okay when you do that. When you stand right there on your feet in that moment, you're like, I'm okay. I'm okay. Even if something crazy just happened, if you stand right there on your feet, I'm okay. Like in this second, I'm here. I
That's
am here.
right. That's right.
Yeah. I
That's
love that.
That is right. And so the beauty of this Mercury retrograde that we just have come through is that it has given us more of our sense of self, but really understanding the most important thing is that we live in a mental universe.
Mm-hmm.
This motherfucker is all thought.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The Bible says, as a man and woman think, so are they. As you think. So Mercury is your thinking, it is your speaking. Whatever you speak into existence, right? So the moon today is in Sagittarius, and my mantra for today is I am expanding, because the Sagittarius is about expansion. And
Right.
expansion is about, for me, because Sagittarius is about adventure as well. It's like I am expanding into a beautiful adventure that allows me to live the life that I'm absolutely born to live, that I'm
Mhm.
absolutely here to be in service to, that I'm absolutely willing to experience with grace and ease and joy. And as we speak these things, they have to come into existence.
Just have to. I mean, because we create our lives, duh. Duh. You
Duh,
can say
right?
you have what you want, duh. Why do you think TV and social media is so loud? Because they're trying to create it. They're trying to be the voice in your head. You be the voice in your head. You create it. Don't let them create it. You know,
Yes.
just
You know,
saying.
that is such an interesting thing too, because I remember when I used to, for the year or so, a long time ago, that I watched, and there's nothing wrong with this, but I used to watch the Atlanta Housewives
Mhm.
because I like black people. And I just like it, right? But I realized one day, I realized that, oh, that's their voices in my head. That meanness, that bitchiness, that, and I had to turn it off because it was programming me.
Yes, that they even call it television programming. They even call it that right in our faces. And we just says, oh, it just means it's a show. No, that's not what it means. Who are they programming? The watchers, the viewers.
That's
What
right.
are they programming? That's the question. What are you watching? But they got
Yeah.
something for everybody. They got the stuff for the children. I think video games are like casino for kids. You know what I mean? Like the slot machine, they get you ready for the slot machines. They got the prices right and stuff for the old folks. They got the soap operas. All of those are shifting. And then
Right.
they got sports for the men. You talk about sports to take up the men's time. They got something for everybody to keep you occupied. They can't have all that brilliance just sitting around creating, you know?
Isn't that amazing?
Mhm.
So, what can we do if we are fully in ownership of all of our energy? What can
We
you
would change
create?
the world. We would change the world if we all decided to use our power for good and to love each other, like really love each other. The whole world would be fixed. Everything would be marvelous, even global warming. We fix it all. We would
Well, you're
because we
right.
use, yes.
I agree, and I'm for it. And I'm just right now. I'm literally this side of my head is tingling. The right side of my head is tingling as you say that, because it takes courage to turn off the programming
Mhm.
and to then listen to yourself. I had a client yesterday, and she and her partner really recently moved to some place that is like in the woods, like with a lot of without out of the city. And she said that
Mhm.
she was like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was
Yeah.
sad. I was depressed
Right.
because she didn't know how to manage her own energy.
Mhm.
She didn't know
She
how
never
to.
got to just be with her own self. You know, it was always some screen in front, always somebody pouring some ideas into her head. But now you're in the woods without that. What do you do?
Right. And so it's a really beautiful thing to when we begin to sit with ourselves and get curious about our own energy. That's why I love artists. and people who write, and like you, like dancers, and because you have used your energy to create something. And we're all here to do that. We're all here to bring something to this reality. And, you know, I'm not really on this idea of legacy. Like, that doesn't, I don't care about that kind of stuff. But I do know that I have this energy inside of me. And what I understand from astrology is if you don't succeed at bringing what's inside of you to the external, you just get to come back and do it again.
So might as well do it now. Like, you want to keep doing this? I mean, dang. I mean, you know, it's cool, like whatever. But, you know, we were talking about that graphic of the earth going forward, you know, with the sun and stuff spiraling around it. And we were like, where are we going? And we've been on this trip for billions of years. Like, well, when are we going to get there? You know? So you want to do it now so we can go ahead and evolve, or you just want to do it next lifetime? Like, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you even doing?
That's right. That's right. And so that's the really beautiful thing. So Mercury, we are in the final week of Black History Healing is what I have been calling it. And really looking at our identity and how we participate in a system that is traditionally traumatic, damaging, harmful, debilitating, life-sucking, vampiric, right? And so we're talking about the ways that we participate by watching TV, by following the media, by, you know, listening to the doctors tell us what we need to be healthy, by eating foods that are really not in alignment with our bodies and our health and well-being, by taking on, one of the things that triggers me, the way we come into this experience of romance. Like, I get so profoundly triggered by the white Western idea of romance, which is, you know, which is, first of all, is monogamy. And I'm not, you know, for people who can do monogamy, where they can, and I don't mean, what do I mean when I say monogamy? This idea that you and me only, there is nobody else. We all we got. you're gonna fulfill all of my needs, right? Like that's a Western white European idea, because their God is money. And so the reason they align the women to monogamy is because they want to know who the child belongs to. That's really all it's about. I don't want to have to be responsible for a child that's not mine. Now, how is that communal?
Yeah. Like, why, you know, but we be responsible for pets and dogs and birds and cats. You didn't birth those and you love them. It's like, can we just love all the people, please? Can we just love each other? Can we? Yes, we can. Can we just do it though? Can we really just love each other and stop all the bull crap?
Right.
If the woman has a child that you didn't actually give the sperm to, love that child anyway. You know,
just needs love.
Yes, just love the baby. Love the baby. Love the baby. You love the woman. Love the baby.
Love everybody. Like, why divide your love? Why divide your capacity to expand and be communal? Why, you know what I mean? Like, why say this person is worthy, but this person is not? I've been watching.
That's the hierarchy. That's the problem. That whole piece, and that's what has people feeling worthy and unworthy. Even the term bastard, I never resonated with that as a child when they would say, well, so-and-so is a bastard. I'm like, that's a harsh thing to say. Well, their parents not married. So, like, they're not a mistake. God created that baby. This is an authentic life. Like you're saying, they don't have a right to be here. Yes, they do. Like, don't start off putting yucky names on a little sweet spirit, just as sweet from just a little sweet God.
Right.
So
the same way Christianity said you're born a sinner.
And we talked about that last week. I just never believed that. It didn't feel right on the soul. Like, how does that even make sense?
Right. And all of these are Western, white, European ideas. Yeah. None of this comes from the experience of Blackness, the culture that we come from. None of this at the core is ancient and African and indigenous. All of these are ideas that really are about bringing ownership into this 3D reality.
It's about ownership, period. ownership, the woman, the children, the land, the money, that kind of stuff. And how is that about love at the end of the day? How is it?
Right.
An ownership of stuff that doesn't even really matter at the end of the day.
That's right. Because when you die, you're not taking none of this shit with you.
The only thing you're taking is your soul. So love the souls that walk upon this earth.
Right. And the thing that's so significant is when you live into love, that's what you do take with you. Like you do take the energy that you are, you take that with you, but you don't take the things with you.
That feels nice. I like to know that we take the love with us. I like that a lot. That feels, that just makes me feel giddy, you know? Because I think about my grandmother and how much I love her, and to know that she's forward in the spirit world with all that love with her. Oh, my phone is I'm at the end of my thing and I don't have my charge. So can you still see me? We can talk to the end, but I got 5%. It's dark on my side.
Is it dark on you? I can still see you perfectly. Okay, great. So today the moon is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is about expansion. It's about your faith. And, you know, as we complete this Black History Month this time around, we really want to be living into our faith. And that means that we're going to have to take some risk. We're going to have to go on an adventure. You're going to have to, you know, like have the faith that if you turn off the motherfucking TV and you stop listening to all these stories and narratives that are negative, that are giving you poison for your psyche, that something else is going to come that replaces it, that actually feels good in your reality, that actually serves you.
Pick one thing, because it might be too much to do all of that at once, because we are addicted to these things. Not us, but people are addicted to TV and social media and a doctor. But pick one thing to do something different with, and just see, again, do your own experiment with yourself and see what Monique is talking about, how something does come and replace it, and see how much happier you are and how much more able you are able to love. You're not being a mean girl like the ones you watch on TV.
Right. And you pick one thing and you have to do it for 28 days. That's the thing. You have to do it for a moon cycle. You cannot, you know, you cannot cheat. You have, because it takes an entire moon cycle for something to become a pattern, which is why I say, come join the moon work, because in the moon work, I teach you all how, with the rituals and all of that, to build into a new reality from the inside out. Yes, we weren't taught to do things from the inside out. We were taught to do things but just externally, so that we didn't really have power. But if you really want to have power and magic, because Adina and I experience so much magic constantly, you can come and do the moon work, and I will be there to teach you. We'll have a whole community, and I just love y'all. So whatever, I'm doing this, and I love you guys to join, and Adina and I are just deeply appreciative of this ability to come and talk to you guys and just be here every day. So thank y'all.
Thank you.
You got anything you want to say before you go, Adina?
Much love. If you want to move your booty, holler at me. You know, follow me on IG. And Monique has me pinned there. So just follow me. You know, we're going to move and honor the moon and all of our magic when we move, because the movement is also a prayer.
Yeah.
Prayer.
Absolutely. The movement is really a prayer. Yes, it is. It's the body's prayer.
We set intention and then we move ourselves into it, literally. Literally. That's what we do.
It has been, the body work has been the core. Like, I've been doing this spiritual work since I was in my 20s, but I really just started doing the piece with the body, and it's making all the difference in the world. I didn't know. Yes. All right. All right, beautiful lady.
All right, Mama. I love you so much.
I love you too. Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye. See you soon. Bye-bye.